This is a simple training video of how to apply the Stop It Riser Rehabilitation Kit to a gas riser at the air to soil transition line. I have marked this area. It's good to cover 6 to 8 inches of the riser. As far as surface prep goes, all you need is a wire brush to knock off any of the loose scale or debris that may be on the riser. Once you've done that, you can open up the kit. Inside the kit contains a tape, which is the fiberglass tape. It's 2-part epoxy and rubber gloves. I've taken the epoxy, or here's a sample piece of the epoxy. I'm kneading this together till it's one consistent color. Once it's one consistent color, you can it's activated and you can apply it to the riser, primarily just to fill any voids or areas that have a wall loss or heavy corrosion, and you kind of want to make a smooth transition over the riser. So I'll use a little sample piece right there. Then I'm going to take my tape, open it up. You don't want to open up this tape until you're ready to use it. And I'm going to submerge it into water for about 10 to 15 seconds, giving it 3 good squeezes, letting it get nice and wet. And then what I'm going to do, as I said, I've marked off 8 inches of the pipe. Here's the mark for where the air to soil transition is, not to be buried under the ground. And so what I'll do is I'll just start from the top, make 2 wraps, and then just do a 50% overlay as you work down the riser, pulling tightly as you wrap, which is going to force the urethane to expand through the layers of the tape till you get to the bottom of your marking, and then just continue working your way back up the riser. Again, you have to work fairly quickly, pulling tight, forcing the resin again to penetrate through the tape, and you keep doing this until you get to the very end of the roll. As you can see in the video there, that the riser, as I'm wrapping, you can see the resin starting to penetrate through the layers. That's what you want. You want the resin to start kind of foaming and oozing out of the material as you're wrapping and pulling tightly. And keep doing this until you get to the very end of the tape. When you get to the end, there is a plastic spool. Simply remove the plastic spool. The tape is kind of flapped under. Just pull it out. Take the tape and just push it into the resin. Then at this point, dip your hand back in the water and then just compress the resin back into the tape. You don't have to squeeze the resin into the tape. Just vigorously work the resin back into the tape. And as if the resin starts to stick to your gloves, you can dip your hand in the water as often as you need to. And just keep working the resin back into the tape until you don't see it foaming up or foaming through the resin. And as it starts to set up, and once the resin is set and it stops bubbling, the process is done. But just continue working the resin back into the tape. And again, dip your hand in the water as often as you need to. Once there's no more bubbling, then the product is done. And that's the application for repairing a riser at the air to soil transition.